Sometimes all it takes is one game for the narrative to flip itself upside down. Pettersson and Hughes. Oh, they're the best players, right? Hughes, so amazing, so fantastic, the only player who has been so consistent. And Petey, finally getting his game back. The past few games, we've been dogging on guys like Brock Boeser for being slow, for not being able to shoot properly, for not doing anything on the power play, for not cutting inside. And what does he do to respond to those comments? He gets 4 goals in 2 games, including a buzzer beater game-tying goal in this one versus St. Louis. And all of a sudden, in the overtime, the narrative flips once again. Pettersson and Hughes, what are you guys doing? I don't know what's going on here. Quinn did not have his best game tonight. They played him like crazy. They gave him all the minutes. He was tired. It's not really his fault, you can say. But at the same time, the Canucks, for the first 2 periods, were not able to do anything. This game essentially started in the 3rd period. But Quinn in overtime, multiple chances to seal the deal, come in on goal, 2-on-1s and otherwise, either shooting it up high or shooting it for a save on Binnington. No passing attempts here from Quinn. You know, in a way, I kind of respect the shot attitude. I expect that Quinn is going to take control and do what it is that he needs to do to get results, and that is exactly what happened in this OT. But Pettersson! The guy had 2 distinct fumbles in the offensive zone and in the neutral zone to try and handle a pass, which end up resulting in a St. Louis Blues turnover and a 2-on-1 the other way. By the way, St. Louis wins this game 4-3 in overtime. I hadn't said that yet in the video. But Pettersson directly responsible for the overtime game-winning goal rush from St. Louis. He can't handle the pass! What was that? He totally lost control of it! Not to mention the other moment earlier in the overtime where the puck was played up to him in the neutral zone, and instead of corralling it and skating with it, the puck just goes right by him. It was right there! Petey, man, what's going on? I've been on his side the past few weeks here. He's been trying to get it back. He has been getting it back. He's been scoring. Looking good again. But what was that? In the most important game of the year! The 2 best players on the team totally dog it, and they don't show up. Okay, Quinn. Game-tying, beautiful assist on the Brock Boeser overtime sending game-tying goal. Beautiful play by Quinn. Might I remind you, Quinn Hughes did kind of fumble the puck a little bit too in the St. Louis zone, which is what led to the reverse and regrouped breakout attempt from the Vancouver Canucks, which resulted in the Boeser goal. But ultimately, this was a 4-3 game for St. Louis on a really bad day for the out-of-town scoreboard. I don't know if y'all had seen, but the New Jersey Devils were up 3-1 against the Calgary Flames today. And then Jacob Markstrom just decided to let in 4 goals unanswered, or was it 3? I think there was an empty netter in there too, something like that. But still, Calgary with a huge comeback victory to beat New Jersey 5-3. They were down 3-1. Meanwhile, Utah, what was the score in that game? Utah-Buffalo, 1-1? What is it now? Let's check it out. But either way, not a good day here for the out-of-town scoreboard and the Vancouver Canucks, because this game goes to overtime. Both St. Louis and Vancouver get points, but St. Louis ultimately gets the extra point after Vancouver clawed so deeply to try to get back and give themselves one more opportunity here. All things considered, though, as we had spoken about earlier in today's show, the overtime result doesn't really impact the percentage odds as much as the regulation results. Vancouver, because they got a point in this game, their playoff odds only drop 3.3%. Meanwhile, St. Louis, they win this game in overtime. Their playoff odds only go up by 5.6%. Both of these teams, Vancouver and St. Louis, are still below 50%, although St. Louis does have the extra point here, which does put them in that wildcard spot. Right now, the Vancouver Canucks are underneath St. Louis, but they're still above Calgary, even though Calgary did win earlier today against the New Jersey Devils. It's tightening up here, folks, for that final wildcard opportunity. I don't think the St. Louis Blues have what it takes to catch up to Minnesota, who have 83 points on the year. They're just a little bit too far out of reach at this stage in the season. But ultimately, this playoff race is tightening itself up, and an overtime game between both St. Louis and Vancouver, that does not make things any more easy to predict. It's just frustrating because you take a look at what happened to get to this point. Brock Boeser went absolutely Super Saiyan. We got to bust out the Brock Boeser Goku Super Saiyan image and put it in the thumbnail here, because that might have been Brock Boeser's best game of the year. Spare the game that he had last time against the Winnipeg Jets. The clutch factor, the last second goal. It's shades of the Nashville Predators series game, where Brock Boeser went out there and scored a beautiful, I think it was a hat trick, to tie things up in the last few seconds. This guy went absolutely sicko mode. When all the pressure's on everybody else, Pettersson and Hughes to get it done, Jake Debrusk to get the scoring done in front, Connor Garland, who returned to the lineup, Brock Boeser comes out of nowhere and he's like, yeah, I got this. I'm just going to hammer one by Jordan Binnington. Beat Binnington twice from distance on the inside of the circle there. What a beautiful shot on both of the goals scored by Boeser and from Kiefer Sherwood. I mean, Binnington was getting beat from that particular spot all night. All night. I say that as if he got beat anywhere else in the first and second periods, but nah, he only got beat in the third on that one spot by right-handed shooters. Kiefer Sherwood gets a goal. Looks like it might have been tipped, might have not been, who knows, who cares. It's a goal on the short side. Brock Boeser then goes far side, and then Brock Boeser with the hammer slap shot bomb on the rush with 2 seconds to go in regulation gets it short side, and Jordan Binnington falls to his knees. The rest of the St. Louis Blues fan base with their jaws on the floor. Vancouver fans with their arms in the air cheering their heads off as Brock Boeser gives this franchise a shot of hope. Only for the overtime to absolutely get away from them. Pettersson, man. Handle the damn puck. Like, you want to talk about Rick Tocchet? Yeah, we could talk about Rick Tocchet. How about the multiple opportunities that the Vancouver Canucks had in the third period? Because they were shooting within distance, not just taking point shot after point shot and point shot and point shot like they were in the first and second. All the point shots, all the possession on the outside of the zone. Great, they have puck control in the O-zone. Doesn't mean anything if you don't get the puck towards the goal from a dangerous area. Canucks trying too hard for those tips and those rebounds and stuff. St. Louis boxing them out in front of the goal there. It's not working. And then you want to talk about what happens when Rick Tocchet allows a team to actually go out there and score really nice goals in tight. They get 3. Sherwood, Boeser, all from that same spot. And then in the overtime, somebody's got to talk about the line changes in the overtime. You know how many 2-on-1 opportunities the Blues had in the OT because Vancouver had line changes that were just illy timed and illy placed? What was that? This coaching staff, man. Just the system, what the team needs to do. I'm not going to dog too hard on Hughes for not passing it to Pia Suter or whomever it was on the 2-on-1. Shoot or shoot, and he went for the shot, it didn't go in. Fine. But mistakes, man. Mistakes like Pettersson bobbling it. Mistakes like all the line changes. That was not a game that the Vancouver Canucks deserved to win. They needed to win it. Absolutely needed to, but they didn't deserve it. First 2 periods, St. Louis played better. St. Louis had better opportunities. St. Louis. They had the whatever lead, and Vancouver ultimately ties it up, gets the lead themselves. St. Louis, of course, with the 2 goals in 25 seconds. Like, all it took was that amount of time for Vancouver to lose all hope. They got it back with Brock Boeser. Shot of hope, right? But ultimately, this game, overtime loss, And St. Louis takes the extra point here on top of Calgary and Vancouver in that ever so elusive wild card race. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I actually have Holloway and Schenn on multiple of my fantasy teams, so I do feel kind of bad about this result. But at the same time, I am winning my matchups now, so I can't say I feel the worst I've ever felt when watching the Vancouver Canucks. So yeah, thanks Holloway and Schenn for getting those points. Thoughts in the comment section below about the Canucks and this hockey game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Cyayin, and bye.